So now let's talk about why this is really important for an organization to focus on. Um, Attrition is um, the end of an employee's association with your organization. If you don't have a good understanding of why this is happening, you will not be able to take the right decisions that are required to reduce your hiring costs. You will find that there are impact on your transition costs, there are opportunity costs, or drop in the overall company morale due to a lot of people leaving. And while I will briefly introduce each of these concepts to you, I would again, like to direct you to our expanded course on attrition analytics, where we actually spend a lot more time talking about each of these in detail and even work with real practical data and go through step by step of actually creating some Excel dashboards for attrition analytics. So, first, let's talk about the hiring costs. Like we discussed in the initial sections on sourcing and hiring, every time you need to hire a person, there are significant costs that are attached. So, one, there is, of course, the cost of setting up an entire hiring team. But also, there are costs related to searching for an employee. There are costs related to training this person and making them productive for the kind of work that they will be expected to perform. And these are the kind of costs you will have to bear, not for new project work, but just in order to maintain your current service levels. Because let's say 10% of your employees are leaving you every year, but you're also looking at a 10% growth. So now, instead of allocating costs for the growth, you've actually got double the costs because you're also compensating for the people who are leaving you. So, this is a significant cost that you can avoid by making sure that you understand why this attrition is happening and then influencing policy and program design to make sure that you're able to retain the maximum number of people. This is not the only cost. When a new person joins your organization, they will need to be onboarded and assimilated into your way of working. This could be that you have a certain specific culture, perhaps you have a certain way of dealing with your customers, or maybe you have a certain unique approach to the way you deal with a project or solve a problem. All of these things will need to be taught to this new employee, and these are significant onboarding costs. Another thing that will happen is that while this entire onboarding is happening and while the person is still learning the kind of work they will be expected to perform, you're effectively paying their salary but not really getting anything back in return. And these are the kind of opportunity costs that you will have to bear in mind for each new person who joins you in replacement of an existing employee who chose to leave you. When this happens a lot, when a significant number of people start leaving your organization, what you will find is that there are a significant number of people who will need to join your organization from outside. Each of these people will bring with them their own set of values, their own set of thoughts and ideas and ways of dealing with problems, clients, or work in general. This can lead to dilution of the company culture. And as HR, this is one of the most important areas that you own. And therefore, it's really, really important for you to keep a tight handle on attrition because a diluted company culture does not bode well for the organization in the long run. Overall, organizations that have high attrition tend to send out this message that this is not a great place to work, and therefore you want to make sure that you have low attrition numbers which are benchmarked to what the typical industry numbers are in order to maintain the right image and the right brand of the company in the market. So therefore, this is a very, very critical metric to keep an eye on, and make sure that you track it closely and are able to quickly raise red flags when you see an anomaly or a blip, or you see that there is a certain section of your workflow force which is more unhappy than others, as attrition is something which is really the end of their unhappiness, and this is actually the result of perhaps several bad experiences that they've had within the organization. So this is a great indicator, and you will find that most HR teams follow this indicator very, very closely. So this will be a great value addition that you will be able to make to the HR team.